How the heck does the switch know the MAC addresses of connected devices? Well, we have a couple different options here and we're going to go over them. First is that switches don't know MAC addresses. This is not true. It's necessary for switches to know the MAC address, otherwise they wouldn't know where to send things to. So this does not make sense, not an answer. Next, switches, I guess that's a combination of the first two words. Switches query each connected host. They don't need to do this. This is also not going to be true, as well as the next one. An administrator must program the MAC to be port-to-port table. You don't need to do this. The switches don't need to query. They don't need to be programmed either. The only thing that they need to do is learn the addresses by watching frames themselves. How do they do this? Well, remember, whenever you send something, you have a couple of different things that go along with it when we're talking about it at this level. You have the source MAC address, you have the destination MAC address where it's going, you have the source MAC address where it's coming from, the actual data, and then the FCS. Do you remember what FCS is? We went over it in a previous video. FCS is the frame check sequence, and that is how a switch knows the MAC addresses of connected devices. The switch is just going to watch all inbound frames, anything that comes in, and learn the MAC addresses from it. Switches are smart. And that's why another term for them are smart repeaters. So they're smart switches, and they basically watch everything that comes in, all the inbound frames, and it will learn the MAC address itself. So you don't need to program it, it doesn't need to query, they do need to know MAC addresses. And again, the answer for the problem, how does a switch know the MAC addresses of connected devices, is that the switch learns the addresses by watching frames.